Bobby Orr. The name alone sends chills down the spine of old-school hockey fans. A human highlight reel, a magician on skates, the guy who made defensemen cool before it was trendy. But today, we're not just talking about his legendary skills. We're talking about the injuries that took this hockey god and turned him into a cautionary tale. Grab your painkillers and knee braces, folks, because this is the tragic story of how injuries destroyed Bobby Orr's career. And trust me, by the end of this, you're gonna feel like you need an ice bath just from watching. Oh, and before we get into the nitty-gritty, hit that subscribe button for more sports stories that'll make you laugh, cry, and scream at your screen. Let's go. The rise of a hockey superhero. Before Bobby Orr became the poster child for what happens when you play hockey like a one-man wrecking crew, he was a teenage prodigy. Signed by the Boston Bruins at just 14 years old, Orr was already skating circles around grown men while they were still trying to figure out how to tie their skates. He could score, defend, and probably make a mean grilled cheese sandwich, all at the same time. He didn't just play hockey, he revolutionized it. By the time he hit the NHL, he was redefining the role of a defenseman. Instead of just stopping goals, he was scoring them. Instead of just skating backward, he was flying forward. He was the hockey equivalent of a superhero until injuries started creeping in. And when I say creeping in, I mean charging at him like a runaway Zamboni. Orr's impact on the game wasn't just in highlight reels. It was in the way he changed hockey strategy. Defensemen weren't supposed to be the most dangerous player on the ice. They were supposed to stay back, block shots, and occasionally fire a shot from the blue line. But Bobby Orr, he turned the entire philosophy of the position upside down. Coaches had to rethink how they structured their teams. Young players idolized him, wanting to play defense just to be like Bobby. His skating was otherworldly, his agility was unmatched, and his vision was like he had a crystal ball. But the way he played came at a price. Orr wasn't just fast, he was fearless. He played with an intensity that ignored the risks. And that's where the trouble began. His biggest enemy wasn't an opponent. It was the ticking time bomb that were his knees. The beginning of the end, knee injuries galore. Bobby Orr's biggest rival, not the Canadians, not even the Flyers. No, it was his own knees. Those poor things went through more punishment than a goalie facing a breakaway. The dude's knees were basically held together by duct tape and sheer willpower. The first major knee injury came in his rookie season, setting the stage for a lifetime of pain. Torn cartilage, repeated surgeries, and more swelling than a hot air balloon. Every season, every hit, every twist and turn was just another blow to his already fragile knees. Despite all that, he played through the pain like a true hockey psychopath. Doctors told him to take it easy. Bobby said, "Nah, I'll just get another surgery and be back by Tuesday." He refused to let his injuries dictate his career, even as his body was practically begging for a break. The surgeon's name was Jerry Wilson. He'd played 3 NHL games in Montreal, with Rocket Richard and Dickie Moore as line mates, following 8 knee operations, the first when he was 11. At 20, he was cut loose by the Canadians. 15 years and a medical degree later, with orthopedic training to analyze his knee experiences, he told me this: "Orr could play 5 or 6 years, but I predict he won't play more than a couple, because his ability will go, and he won't be able to tolerate that. He'll be an ordinary hockey player." A couple was several seasons fewer than everybody in hockey, including Orr expected. He played 2 more, then mini seasons of 10, 20, and 6 games. 2 seasons plus 36 games. Wilson was right. Orr became ordinary, but for an otherworldly 7-game Canada Cup when his knees rallied, allowing him to skate better than he walked one last time. He was the MVP. Hockey broadcaster Ken Nicholson told me of Wilson's theory. "For my Montreal Star scoop, I never contacted Orr, nor his orthopedic specialist in Boston, Dr. Carter Rowe. I later heard neither was impressed, mostly because they thought Wilson's prediction unethical. Years later, my boss told me the story should have won a national newspaper award. Wilson had been watching Orr closely for a year. I saw a description of the operation, a deteriorated knee at a very early age, and there's no way up to this point that science can fix it. I remember reading that Carter Rowe said an osteophyte, degenerative arthritis, was pinching his cartilage. That's why I assume it's arthritis of a moderately severe degree, a condition that does not get better. With more trauma, more work on it, you just get deterioration. If he played today, sports scientists would strap him to a hospital bed for a year. But this was the 70s. You got hurt, you threw some ice on it and hoped for the best. And boy, did he push through. In an era where sports medicine was basically walk it off with an extra layer of tape, or kept playing at an elite level. He won the Art Ross Trophy twice as a defenseman. He captured 2 Stanley Cups and won 8 Norris Trophies, all while his knees were betraying him in slow motion. How? Pure talent. The man didn't just skate, he glided like he was floating on a cloud of hockey glory. But every game, every shift, every knee-to-knee collision was taking its toll. The fall. Injuries take over. By the mid-70s, Orr's knees were pretty much cooked. He had undergone 12 surgeries. At this point, he wasn't playing hockey. He was surviving it. And every shift was a coin flip between brilliance and disaster. Every shift was a gamble. Would his knees hold up, or would they collapse like an old lawn chair? And let's be real, that's not the kind of suspense hockey fans want to see. Doctors warned him, but Bobby was all in. The Bruins tried to keep him on the ice, but even the greatest player in the world can't outskate chronic pain. Eventually, even he had to admit the inevitable. His playing time decreased, and his dominance started to fade. Chicago Nightmare, the final straw. This is the part of the movie where the hero takes one last shot, and it doesn't end well. Orr's time in Chicago was painful, literally. His knees were gone, his speed was gone, and soon his career was gone. After just 26 games with the Blackhawks, Bobby Orr did what no one wanted to see. He retired. The greatest defenseman of all time, forced out of the game by his own body. A legend brought down not by an opponent, but by his own relentless determination. The legacy, what could have been. If Bobby Orr had modern medical care, could he have played longer? Maybe. If he took more breaks instead of playing through injuries, could he have extended his career? Probably, but one thing's for sure. Bobby Orr changed hockey forever. His story isn't just about what was lost, it's about what he left behind. Even with shattered knees, he still won 8 Norris trophies. He still led the league in scoring. He still gave us moments that make grown men cry. Injuries took him away from the game too soon, but they can't take away what he did for it. Bobby Orr wasn't just a player. He was a revolution on skates. And hey, if you're still here, smash that subscribe button. Unlike Bobby's knees, this channel is built to last.